Hello, everyone. I'm Andriana Pena, and today I will be presenting the findings of our research, a cross-sectional analysis of ethical approval among studies using Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System. The Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System, or YRBIS, is an annually released questionnaire that captures risk behaviors such as physical and sexual violence, illicit drug use, and bullying among school-aged children. The data from these surveys have been de-identified and qualify them as non-human subject research and have been released for public use by the CDC. Institutional review boards, or IRBs, were established in the 1970s after experiments such as the Willowbrook hepatitis study, where children with mental disabilities were injected with hepatitis A and B, were conducted. This experiments and others showed the need for participant protection and ethical review for all human subjects research. Currently, there is great variation across universities, hospitals, and institutions on what requires and what is exempt from IRB approval. To our knowledge, no study has investigated the use of YRBIS in IRB submission. It was our primary aim to evaluate the rates of IRB submissions among cross-sectional studies using YRBIS and associations among study characteristics. Methods. We searched PubMed for cross-sectional studies using YRBIS published after 2012. Articles were then randomized, and 2 authors screened articles until they independently retained 200 articles. Extracted data included IRB statements, country of the primary author, and if the study was funded or not. Descriptive statistics were recorded and chi-squared tests were run to measure the association between IRB submission, study characteristics, and publications occurring and after the 2019 revision to the electronic federal guidelines, although there was no changes in the definition for non-human subject research in this revision. The Prisma diagram on the left shows our methodology and how we went from 791 unique articles to 203 articles. Results. Of the 203 studies, 67 reported they were submitted to IRB or ethical approval. 46 declared that they were not submitted to IRB, and 90 studies did not mention IRB or ethical approval in the entirety of their paper. Of the 67 studies that were submitted for IRB approval, 45 of the articles were published in journals that required IRB submission for publication. Statistical significance associations were found between IRB statements and studies originating within and outside of the United States, and whether a study received funding or not. However, no statistical significance was found among studies published before or after 2019. In this table, you can see how we tracked if a study was submitted for IRB or not, and if the study was funded. Summary. 2/3 of the studies in our samples declared that they were submitted to an IRB, despite cross-sectional studies of YRBIS data being recognized as non-human subject research by the CDC, who produces the data set, as well as other federal institutions. We believe this is due to journal guidelines and not ethical concerns. Studies with funding and those originating in the United States were more frequently submitted for ethical determination, which we also believe is due to the guidelines. Based on our findings, standard guidelines among journals and institutions are necessary in order to ensure that IRBs are actually reviewing human subjects research that need ethical considerations and not de-identified data. These are our resources, and that is my email address. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you for your time.